I'm going live twice today. Today we're going to talk, and yes, this is my job, and I know sometimes you market your job or you want people to know what you do, and also have it where I'm here to help you. Okay, what you're looking at, this is called Power Your Home, and yeah, we're in Florida, by the way, South Florida. It's going to be hot. It is hot, I should say. And we're expecting a tropical storm. And here's the biggest problem that we have down here in South Florida. We're prone to have hurricanes. And what will happen is we will lose power. This is another whole topic where I'm always saying FPL, they just keep putting transformers sitting up on wooden poles, sometimes concrete, but mostly wooden. And they're up in the weather, they're up in the heat, they're up in wind. They get concerned anything 40 miles per hour and higher. FPL says, we're not coming out to help you. Or they get blown out and they just, the wind's higher than that. And when it's like with anything, if somebody came from another planet, they would say, what does this thing do? Okay, we get lights and it's electricity. It could have been wireless electricity 100 years ago with Tesla, but not. It isn't there, and we're still the same way. And we still have. And I'm 74. We've always had electricity on wooden poles that just sit there. So I've always said, and I'm a generator company, so someone would say, well, what do you have such a big thing against power companies? Well, we pay a lot and it doesn't get improved. If you can think of anything that we've done in our lifetime, that you say, well, yeah, this happened when I was 25 years old and it hasn't changed. Well, that's how our power situation does. And, I keep seeing these advertisements from FPL saying, we're here. They show, a big warehouse where trucks are driving out. And they're like, yeah, don't worry, we're here. And they show a excavator next to a line going into the ground. Now, very rarely does actual wiring or the cabling for our electricity usually isn't underground. New neighborhoods, they might have it in the neighborhood when it's a total beginning from, the point of where, it's all dirt and they can bury lines. But the only thing wrong with that, it does make the neighborhood a little more safe, I guess you might say. But the big other problem is the major equipment that's feeding that particular neighborhood is above ground. They're substations just sitting there. They're surrounded by a fence with barbed wire, but to me, it's dangerous because anybody could go with some form of projectile or high-end that they use for July 4th bomb, and they could basically really do and create a lot of havoc for that substation. So regardless if your power is coming in way up on poles like I have here, or yes, you go into a new neighborhood that they buried the wiring, it's still being fed by the equipment that's all above ground a distance away. So the point I'm making here, besides knowing we want to take care of ourselves, but we also want to take care of our pets. And that's why I'm bringing this up today. They need as much as we need, and we love them so much. So anyway, the last thing I'll say before I show you what I'm going to show you is don't count on anybody else to help you protect your family, your animals from a hurricane and power losses. So, okay, what you're seeing little Jamie. That's Jamie, the CEO, and she helped me install. By the way, I am an EcoFlow wholesale dealer, and I still am actually a Generac home standby dealer for Generac. Nothing wrong with generators, nothing wrong with Generac. But as thank goodness, technology improves, what you're looking at that's right next to Jamie and I, that's a whole home backup. And there's many different ways of installing this, but the point is, and what I really love about it, it's very easy to install. Permitting wise, you might need to get an electrical permit, and I'll show you why in a minute because of that. But it just kind of depends a little bit. So the neat thing is, generators would take 2 months to install because of all the permitting, getting them, the generator shipped here, getting this and that, permitting, inspections. I can go on and on and on. Slabs. I was a gas guy, so I'd be putting in the propane tanks that are expensive. I mean, typically 1,000-gallon propane tank, after you've installed it, or I've installed it, and you fill it with, because like 1,000-gallon propane tank really only holds 800 gallons of propane, and that's all related to liquid versus gas and all that stuff. But the point is, not only is the tank installation expensive, but the gas you're paying $3 a gallon. So you're looking at another $3,000 on top of that to get your tank full. And the typical standby generator will burn anywhere from 2 to 3 gallons an hour. So it's expensive. What you're looking at here is, and they call them solar generators, although I don't like that term because it's a little confusing. You can have solar panels charging this unit. You can also have your AC power charging it when you have power. You can also use a backup, and I won't sell anybody generators that run on gasoline, because generator business for 20 years, people say, hey, it's a lot cheaper to put in a portable and a manual transfer switch. I'd say, yes, you're right. But the first time you use it, it'll work great. Then you put it off in the corner in your garage, or worse, you leave it outside covered, and the next time you go to use it, it won't start. So the only recommendation, and that's what I'm actually waiting for for it coming here, is an EcoFlow generator. It's dual fuel, meaning yes, it can run on gasoline, and believe it or not, you even get a little higher amount of power with gasoline because it's a very volatile, explosive gas versus propane. But running, and I'll keep you updated on this, but running that EcoFlow generator on propane, the propane doesn't go bad. It never gets old. It's just like me, right? You're never bad. You never grow old. You'll never die. Well, propane is a very clean gas. It's a clean burning gas. And as long as you don't have leaks, which is not hard to make sure you don't, you basically will have it, for as long as you need it. We have ordered 2. We were at hardware store yesterday, and we ordered 2 what they call 100-pound tanks. They hold about 27 gallons of propane each. And the EcoFlow generator, all it's doing is it's running, it's not powering your home, and that's not the purpose. The purpose is when you have no AC power to charge your system, obviously you're out of power, the generator, and you're looking, that's called the EcoFlow Ultra, by the way, that you're looking at. And what will happen is the EcoFlow will say, ooh, and it's whatever you set it. Let's say you set it at 20%, when the batteries get down to 20%. And by the way, one little aside, you can add, in this particular setup, you can add I can add 2 more batteries, and each battery is 6 kilowatt hours of storage. So you can expand, and that's the biggest thing why, another reason why I like these. When you put in generator, that's the size of the generator. And yes, you would say to the customer initially, okay, you need a 48 kW generator or Generac to run your home. Well, I can't afford a 48 kW. So then we go down, not below what you'd be, we don't waste people's money or take people's money, where we'd say, it doesn't make any difference. But when we go to smaller generators, we would have to do what we call load shedding and have it where you're only going to run 1 panel instead of 2 panels. So you had, limitations. And the other thing that would happen is somebody would be saying, hey, Jim, a year after I installed the standby, they might say, hey, Jim, I'm going to put I'm going to add a room to my home for an office. And I'm going to have an air conditioner, yada, yada, yada. Well, here we go. That generator initially installed, let's say, a year or 2 before, was sized, and all the ancillary equipment was set up for that particular home. So that when you lose power, you will have what you need to be comfortable. And, refrigeration, air conditioning, hot water, such as. But when the customer says, I need can you expand this generator, the standby generator, I'd say, no. And I would never say, well, I'll put a big one in for you, because that's not fair either. So the neatest thing and why I love these is the fact that you can expand them. And in fact, you can add, and you'll see, if you look at, that's a close-up of the EcoFlow Ultra. And what you see on the right, the 2006, that's how much power the unit is using to run your home. Because this is actual, when I switched it over to being for the home versus my building here, when I set it up and said, well, I'm going to shut the power off, that is how much power I was drawing. And the percentage says, okay, of your battery capacity, in this case, you have 84% left, which is good. Now, on the left side, you're seeing 0, When we do a charging aspect, either that EcoFlow generator I mentioned, or solar power that you can put out temporary panels. I don't sell these at all to say, let's have you spend $50,000 to put solar panels on your roof. No, we don't do that because you don't really need to. It's really a waste. Even though I did it in the past, these were not in the sense of the battery capability was not where you could say you can either do A or B, a full solar system or a battery system. So that's the main unit. And right now, it's hard to tell, but it's got 3 batteries with that. I bought it with 2. I added a 3rd one, and I can add 2 more. Okay, this is, and very comparable to the standby generator transfer switch with Generac, and you would install, so that what a transfer switch does, you won't be tested on this, but what it does is it in essence says, if I pick up a power loss. Now, the EcoFlow units are amazingly fast as to losing power, utility power, and flipping, transferring it to your storage system within your garage. And this will just, and you have an app on your phone. You can say, okay, I want to shut my hot water heater off right now. We're not going to take showers. So you can reduce very easily not running things that you don't need to run. One that you don't stop running is, of course, the AC, refrigerator. Hot water, again, you put it on when you need it for an hour or so. And in this case over here, we have a well system, quite a involved well system, which has a 240 below ground water pump. And obviously I would have to power that to make sure we still had water coming into the home, showers, and so on and so forth. So this is great. Do you have to add this to the whole job? Not necessarily. I haven't. I'm integrated right into my main panel, and I'm going to be manually doing things, which is fine. I'm not too far over the hill. But down the road, I will be adding one of the EcoFlow transfer switches. This is called the SP2. This is a picture of the same system that I have, that I moved from this building, and this is my studio building, and I was running with that off-grid. Why did I do that instead of pulling an electrical line from the home when we installed this about 7 months ago? I needed to have the experience of using these solar generators. I'm the type, and I learned from many years ago when I started selling generators, I didn't know anything. How do you sell something you don't know how it works? I did get pretty good with the generator side, thank goodness, after 20 years. But that beginning in 2006 was one of the worst times in my life, because I'm taking money from people to install a generator and gas, and I can't get the permits. No one would help me. It was one of the saddest, scariest time in my life. So you're saying, and I use 3 different systems in here, not at the same time, to, I guess you might say, audition them so that I'm going to have the best of the best. And I found EcoFlow is very good equipment. I've not had any problems with it generally, but it's not really, how would you say, that complex that you're going to be worrying that, the minute you look at it cross-eyed, it will fail. So, and I know I'm kind of using I don't want to say pretense of animals, but you got to take care of your animals. And I was saying, I want to talk about the opportunity to back up your home. And when I was talking about FPL and how they don't fix anything unless it breaks, and you're sitting here in the dark. Well, you don't need to, but you have to really concentrate on taking care of yourself. Now, what you're seeing here is, I know it's a little harder to see, but one, you're seeing the full capacity capability. Now, I showed you 3 batteries, an inverter. I'm showing you in the EcoFlow SP2 transfer switch, you can see the capability of going from 1 battery up to 15 batteries all hooked into that 1 transfer switch. And what you're looking at is 90 kilowatt hours of storage. I have 8, from the 3 batteries, I have 18. I had another battery, I go up another 6. Add another battery, go up another 6, would be about 30 kilowatt hours. So, the other charging capability, believe it or not, you can charge with, your EV charger at a much higher wattage, and you can see the solar panels. Now, and so those are like, you don't have to leave them out. You lose power. You're now on your solar generator. Everything's working great. And yes, and I started talking about where you saw the number capability on the left. However you're charging this, solar panels, generate a propane generator, the EV charger, just many different ways to charge this so you don't get caught where you run out of batteries power. So anyway, if you don't do it for yourself, do it for your animals. So anyway, okay, here comes the sales part of it. This is Jim Whitehead, and you can see my phone number there. And I am extremely happy to talk about having the backup power that you need for your dog there, and that's, again, I did Rascal. So thank you for being here. Please call me if you have any questions. I can ship anywhere in the country. And the neat thing, last thing I'll say is the process of getting these in, installing them, yes, they have to be shipped. So that's variable. But it probably takes only a day or 2 to get it installed. Very easy, very simple. I have an electrician. His name is Robert Anderson. I'm kind of the generator guy, the solar guy, and the YouTube guy. Anyway, thank you very much for being here, and please call me with any questions. Thank you. Have a good day.